In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Relationships. How important is it? It is one of the most important things we do have to carry on in our life. So, for that reason, we need to be careful, cautious about it as well. Relationships, since there are more than one person involved in it, so for that reason, we need to be even more careful and cautious. There are certain things about which no one else is involved. So in that particular area, we can bring abrupt changes as well. Although it is worth thinking and considering whether these abrupt changes are okay or not, but at least no one else is involved. So for that reason, once we are interacting with someone else, once we are having a kind of relationship with another person, with another family, with another group of people, we need to be very careful, we need to become very cautious so that the relationship remains sweet and does not turn sour. If at all the relationship remains sweet, that's really fine. But if at all these relationships are neither sweet nor sour, it's okay even then. We do have to stop the shifting of these relationships from the status of the sweet to the status of the sour. So for that reason we are going to discuss certain things and we are going to present certain suggestions in this regard as well. First of all, first of all, we need to know, we need to know that we don't have to make the opponents and the enemies unnecessarily, not at all. Don't seek the enmity of the people, not don't seek the rivalry of the people unnecessarily. We need to make friends. Everyone else want to have friends and allies. Friends and allies, once we find somebody who is apparently very exciting or who is apparently you know showing oneself as the one who can help us a lot, who can somehow solve the very important issue we are encountering, or can give us something really big and important, we don't need to become very excited toward them. We need to, I'm not suggesting that refusing this relationship, not at all, but it is good to remain quite cautious, not to let them know something very personal about you. Also, if at all the relationships are getting warm and even more warm, I think it's okay, but we need to exercise the discipline, we need to exercise the capping of this faster growth in the relationship. We need to slow down the pace of it, the speed of it. Although there is quite a lot of motivation, excitement that these relationships should be taken to the maximum level, I think these should not be taken to the maximum level in a minimum amount of time. Although the urge is there, although the impulses are there, although there are certain things due to which we do feel greedy, due to which we do feel somehow that we are very excited about this person or this family, I think we need to slow down the upward spiral once it is going toward upward. But because we must understand and we must try to know that whatever sort of relationships I had in the past, and whatever sort of relationships my loved ones have in the past, those relationships are not as warm as they used to be. Rather, some of these relationships has been converted into the enmities, into the rivalries, and these people are no more their own friends. If at all you look upon those relationships, you will be able to know, you will be able to find that these relationships were taken upwards suddenly, in a hurriedly, in a haste, without thinking much about the intentions of the other people, without thinking much the temperament of the other people, the motives of the other people, as well as the motives and the temperament of we ourselves. I think we need to understand. I think we need to change. We need to apply the brakes here, and we shouldn't allow ourselves to keep moving upward at such a faster pace. Rather, we need to slow down, and once, if at all unfortunately the relationships are declining, if at all there is a decline in the relationship, if at all the excitement has totally evaporated, and if at all a kind of downward spiral is going on, we need to apply the brakes here as well. If it is like, if at all we are ascending on a road upon the hill, I think we need to go slow. Rather, we cannot go faster here in the relationship. Although we can go faster, but we need to apply the brakes, and we need to keep moving in the low gear as well. Also, we need to keep understanding the other person, their motives as well, whatever they are up to, and whatever sort of reputation they are already having. I think we need to know it. And if at all unfortunately there is a kind of decline and downward spiral, we need to put the brakes here as well, and we need to apply the low gear, like we were ascending on a mountainous road. We had to go slow. In the same manner, we need to come down very slow as well. We shouldn't be doing it at a faster pace. We shouldn't be allowing this relationship to be converted into a kind of enmity, into a kind of rivalry. I think so. We need to maintain a reasonably good level of the relationship instead of abruptly ending it. This is what we need to understand. How can we do that? We need to think positively, but not only the positivity, rather the practicability, the doability as well. Because if at all we are positively only, we are thinking positively, if at all we have become a kind of gullible or a credulous person, I think this should not be appreciated at all. We need to remain cautious. We need to remain cautious. Positivity is there. Positivity is important, rather very important indeed. But the positivity alone will not take us anywhere else. We need to become practical. We need to become somewhat pragmatic person as well. Never ever abandon the pragmatism and the practicability. And this is how we can, I think that we can take the relationship up to a reasonable level, and not beyond that. Either it is climbing upward, either there is an upward spiral going on, or there is a downward spiral going on. We need to maintain a reasonably, at least a minimum level of the relationship with a person who was our very close friend, our very close ally. Dear friends, we need to avoid the unnecessary arguments, and we need to be somewhat polite. Although we can become a firm person in our words, in the selection of the words as well, but the politeness is necessary, or at least we should never ever become arrogant or a rude person at all, because doing this will make the situation worse. We need to avoid it. We need to protect ourselves from it. Dear friends, we need to think positively because thinking negatively will create a kind of poisonous temperament, poisonous attitude toward those people. We don't need to have those. We don't need to have it. Unnecessary argument, and that too in the harsh words. I think so. It will make the situation worse, and it will stoke the scenario, the relationship we must be avoiding. Dear friends and fellows, thinking positively but very much practically. Also, avoiding the unnecessary argument, mentioning and talking about these people wherever we have to in a positive and cautious manner is a necessary thing. Thank you, Jazakumullah.